All right, 6 o'clock, and I'll call the meeting to order for the Wells Springs Unified Union School District. We'll begin with pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. All right, first order of business is to approve the agenda. Motion by Sue, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. And then on to student recognition and presentation. So welcome, everyone.
What's that?
I said welcome, everyone.
So I had introduce yourself. This is Jonesy, and what's your name?
Allie.
And this is Allie. What grade are you in?
Kindergarten.
You're in kindergarten. So they have two things. This was a surprise to them. They did not know they were doing this. But on behalf of the kindergarten and first grade, they have invitations for the board members to an event that they're doing next Tuesday. So, yep, everybody sit here. And Allie, want to come on this side? Yeah, we're going to go around that wire. Oh, should we do right to it? And I'm going to hang on to the other ones because I will. Yeah, he'll take two. We'll go this way. Can we go around this way? But the real reason these two young ladies are here is because in September, their classes entered a competition and they created pictures for the Vermont Ag Kids calendar. And we had two students chosen. And Josie is her picture is the May picture. And you can show them that because you're in May. And then Allie's is the August picture. And we have made a calendar for everybody on the board. So if you want to start right there, you remember Mr. Sal. He helped you that day. Can you follow? To Mr. Bonda. Right here, Josie.
Thank you so much.
Here you go, Allie. You want to give one to Mr. Montbrion? And then you can give one to Mrs. Burke. Right here.
Just so you know, ladies, I am a member of the Ag Review. I saw this and knew that you guys were planning. I didn't know this was happening tonight, but I knew you guys were. I got the paper because I kept it because I did something to do with Wells in it. So I know the article and I saw the article in the paper that you read.
Oh, that's exciting. So we just wanted to make sure that you could see some of the great things that we're doing. I'm going to keep these and then I will give them to the other board members that are not here. Okay? Perfect. So thank you for letting us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yes.
Was it a big deal? It's a big deal that you got. It is a big deal that you got. I'm so proud.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Back in time. All right.
20 years. See you here.
What's that?
20 years. See you on the side. That's right.
Okay, on to general public comments. We'll start with folks here. Did anyone here wish to speak tonight during public comment? Okay, we'll move on to anyone online wish to speak during public comment. Okay, on to the consent agenda. So we have minutes of Warrants 439, 442, actually 2 minutes from January 14th and January 21st. We'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda. All right. I'll move to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion on any of the items in the consent agenda? Okay, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Then on to reports, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Eric. I just had a few items. Excuse me. First, a copy of the GRCSU school calendar, which was approved last Tuesday at the GRCSU board meeting, is in your local folders for your own reference. I know that Jessica and Carol will be working on getting that information out to the communities. It is well in advance, but I just want to know that we do have a calendar set for next year already. And some people do start planning that already. So we'll make sure that gets out in the next week or two. At least I got it off. So, okay. In addition to this, I just want to mention pay TV presentations for budget. They should begin airing this week. You know that we sent the Wells Springs budget presentation over to Pay TV last Friday. It's supposed to air today. It was supposed to be the first date, so we should start to see it on Pay TV in the next couple weeks before the vote. In addition, the mailings that go out, we try to align around the annual meetings or the informational meetings. So the mailing will go out for Wells Springs on the 13th. So that's when the printer will send out. So families should expect to see it within the next day or two after that. So that's just how I've done in the past, just to give them a little more information on the budget. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to. Booklets have been distributed. They are available. So if anybody would like a copy of the booklets, you can go to the school and the offices. We also do have PDF copies of the booklets as well on our the GRCSU on the budget website as well for everybody who wants to do that at home. I just want to go through the booklet. We do have a few items in the legislative reports that added. I know that last week at the SU, there are just a couple bills that are being considered that are still in committee and on the floor. I'm not going to give a lot of time to that tonight because, like I said, where they're at, but just something for the board to be aware of. I know that one item that the board is acutely aware of, as well as the community, is that a new map was presented last week. I know that over the past couple of days, the House Ed Committee has been talking more about this. I didn't get a chance to watch the session today. But I heard that there was some suggested adjustments to that. But like I said, I can't really speak on that because I've not seen what those are. But this is something which we are going to have to be aware of in terms of where towns get placed in these maps and where discussions are. So I just would, if there are any questions, please reach out to myself or to the board members or if any parents that, we're more happy to answer any questions as best we can. But we're kind of in the same place that a lot of you are in terms of we're just waiting to see what happens and what occurs. And I would encourage you to get talking with your representatives and your senators about your concerns, your conversations with Tulias, where Wells and Middletown Springs were placed in this latest map, and what that means for school choice and things along those lines. So I think those are good questions to ask in terms of, but right now I don't have an answer to that. I'm just waiting to see the same as everyone else. So. And the last thing I have before I'll answer any questions is just that this is School Board Appreciation Month. So I just on behalf of GRCSU and the staff and students of Wells and Middletown Springs, just want to say thank you to our board members for all your service. I have said this, it's not just a one day a month job. There's a lot of other commitments to this in terms of reading and just behind the scenes preparation and making some heavy decisions. I just want to say thank you because I know that I've worked with each of you individually and collectively. And I think one of the things I've been most impressed with and continue to be impressed with is that all your decisions are based on what is best for kids and being fiscally responsible. I don't just say that lightly. It really is. This is a board that really truly does take their communities, their students' best interest in mind when making decisions. And not always easy decisions, but that's at the forefront of it. So just once again, I say thank you just on behalf of everyone. And on a positive note, if anyone has any questions on the report, we might have to answer. And I'll continue as I receive information, just like I did last week, I'll forward along, just, I didn't need the SBA sent out a longer legislative update the other day as well, which I had an opportunity to take a look at.
Any questions? The PIG TV presentation, is that the presentation that's in the, on the website and the?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and all this information, the mailings will be placed on the website. The presentation is on our website. So if you, I know people aren't going to just sit there and wait and watch big TV, wait for it to come up. A lot of times you can go to our website. There's a lot of information there that it's really like what is CLA. There's some important documents just for help people better understand what really is at play and the budget. I know at the Rutland Town Board meeting last night, Louis and I were talking, and I think one of the things that people really don't understand in terms of, it's not this basic check the bat. They don't write a check and it goes to the schools, and then, we decide how to spend the money. It's really, the taxes go to the state, and then the state then is, it's very convoluted. So it's just, and our website does a nice job of trying to explain that a little bit to be easier for our community members to understand. So.
Well, and the reason why I asked is I was looking on there and I was, there's just a wealth of information. I just wanted to point out that pretty much everything we've received is in that. And for anyone who's interested in all the budget information that we have, you could spend hours reading all this stuff, but I think, especially with our annual meeting coming up, the CLA plays a huge factor in a lot of that. So, but, and then the other thing, it's not really a question, but more of just like a comment, I guess, the board members who has and hasn't really seen that map. I don't know if folks have seen it, but in listening to House Ed, even this week, the idea is to eliminate choice. I think, and so this is something that folks should, the board should be thinking about, or how we might want to engage in a conversation on this too. And just like last year, I know that it may not be a good idea to do stuff impulsively, but if you have to have any kind of discussion, waiting to the last minute doesn't work. Anyone else have any questions or comments on the superintendent's report? Great, thank you. Okay, on the principal's report.
Our winter grass bridge ended on Monday, so the EST team sat down and had lots of meetings, analyzing the growth and regression and reading and math for all of the grade levels. Savers closes on Friday, so the school council will be reviewing these scores with the teachers. And we had an epic reading challenge, and we celebrated last week. A lot of students got some prizes, t-shirts. It's a lot of fun. Our all-school Cauldrons character trait for January was sportsmanship. So we had a guest speaker come in. February's character trait is kindness. We are going to be prepping for VITCAP. So teachers are going to be going through those trainings on Friday. We had NAEP testing in 4th grade. That was on Friday, February 6th. The students did a great job. We had 90%. And the PBIS. In terms of the physical reading system replaced, we're waiting for a second quote for the water pressure tank replacement. Our boiler gave us a little scare. I think it was just all of the extreme cold in January. It is fine. The issue has been resolved. Then we have our wellness program, Beyond the Beat. First, it's pretty excited about them. We actually got two biggest. Over 1 or 2 days. We just finished weeks. And that's basically what we made. So here, it's.
We're having problems hearing.
Just finished.
It's just breaking up a lot.
Yeah, Eric, you keep cutting in and out, and Miss Billingsby as well.
Yeah, we can't hear you at all now.
It's still breaking in and out, coming in and out.
Right?
It's funny because I can hear other people remote very clearly, but you guys are like all broken up and we can't hear you.
Maybe. I think my last. No, unfortunately. That's.
I wonder if we could maybe try like Chris's mic on his laptop and see if we can at least get sound from somebody that's there.
We punished this.
Like maybe if we mute the meeting room and go off somebody else's mic. Because we can hear each other. It's just you guys that we can't hear. But we can like tell that you're talking because the dots are moving, but we don't know what you're saying.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay.
And this is
That's good. Thank
better?
you. Yes, this is perfect.
All right. All right, we're back in action.
Can you hear me?
I think anyone other than Eric is going to have to speak up.
Where did you hear anything Jessica said?
Yeah, we did hear some of it. I think we
So-
made it to,
The last thing I heard was the wellness.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. So wellness program is a huge hit with Beyond the Beat with everybody on our staff. FFE Bingo was February 6th and they made over $900. Our last bingo, my apologies, I have on my report March 26th. It is March 27th is our last bingo. We are also taking a trip to Paramount Theater to watch Cinderella on February 18th. We have a dance on Friday. Winter sports just finished week 4 this Monday. It's been very successful. And then 6th grade has a basket raffle, which will be, and again, I messed up on this date. It is Saturday, March 28th. And I have John Carlson here to talk to the board about the 6th grade class trip to Boston. You'll have to come up here, John.
Yep, come on up. Yeah, you'll have to get close. You'll be on camera too.
Yeah, so we're looking for approval for our overnight 6th grade class trip. It's a 2-day, 1-night trip. We sleep at Plymouth Pawtucket Museum in tents. It's me, the students, and I try to get one parent to come along as well. We pay for it for the basket raffle and the spaghetti dinner. It's a highly educational trip. A lot of kids that don't get out of town very much get to go to Boston, go to Plymouth, go to the ocean, get on the Mayflower too, which is a exact replica of Mayflower. Go to the Science Museum, history tour walk from the Commons down to the wharf, and the Boston New England Aquarium. And then we come back kind of late that night. So it's the 21st, Thursday the 21st of May, and the 22nd we come back probably around 10 o'clock at night. We'll get back.
Okay. Any questions on the 6th grade field trip? If there's no,
5 this year.
Amanda?
How many students is it?
5.
She didn't hear you. It's okay. Did you hear 5? Okay. Okay. So yeah, Meredith?
I'm just wondering, have we ever had to get approval before?
What?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Yep.
Or the principal did it and didn't tell me. I don't know.
She asked if we needed to have approval before.
Typically for overnight trips, out-of-state overnight trips, what we've done in the past.
You have done it with approval?
Yes, board for approval.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember doing approval.
She doesn't remember doing any approval.
Neither do I.
Well, we're here now. Um, we need a motion.
Board of the building to approve it. Okay, great. That's a lot. And the board doesn't have to make a motion to approve it. The board of the building.
My question, because I've never recalled any of this. So if anything happens, what happens? That's a long drive. I've done it numerous times. If anything happens on the drive down, what happens? Who's covering who, and how does that happen? I mean, if you're on a bus, that's one thing. School covers it. It's all done like that. This is personal vehicle, personal things. Who covers that?
I would think it's like an athletic event that you are considered to be in school.
Yes.
So then it really should be school coverage and school approval of the board.
And I believe that it was a policy change that is why the overnight, it was the overnight stay that was changed for people. If I remember correctly, I might be. But yeah, it's a school sponsored event. So.
Okay, so school covers it and stuff like that. Then just because I'm in the process of all this, so my next question is, school drivers and then GRSU requires background intel on drivers and all that other stuff. Is that being done, or is that going to be?
So I've done that, and for required you have the SR22 insurance, I think it's called, which is the extra insurance.
The fingerprinting, you've done all that?
Well,
For the volunteer?
the parent volunteer. So we always make sure it's the person is cleared beforehand. Last year it was a superintendent, so all that stuff was on file. Previous years we've had the parents do that.
Well, I'm just
But they're up-
concerned about this year's
Yeah.
person driving been cleared and approved as far as this is concerned.
This year we have not yet, no,
Okay, and it will be before they travel.
before we travel yet. So I'm cleared, and whoever the adult is, usually I try to get one of the moms to go. So we have a male and a female adult, and they go through the process. We have to get the SR22. That which they have in the years past. We have always done that. We just never came before the board that I know of. But Rick and Corey could have done that without my knowledge.
Board would like to have just a more formal presentation in terms of how. I do, there are some concerns around transportation. You know, for SU, we don't like staff members having students in their own personal vehicles and participate. So when we have, what if there's a school sponsorship, we have to use transportation. Staff. So I think there's some things which
We're having fun, Chris.
They can't hear you, Chris.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, he said that he can bring back more of a formal, have the principals bring back more of a formal presentation around the transportation piece to this. So, Amanda?
That was going to be my question, like, if it's personal vehicles or if they're taking a different bus or if everyone's piling, are they renting a van? Like,
Previous years, we've always taken personal vehicles with the SR22 insurance added on. Last year it was only 3 students, so it was me, the mother of one of the students, and the 3 kids in one vehicle. Previous years when we had 6 or 7 6th graders, we had 2 or 3 adults go and try to make sure no one's ever alone in the vehicle. This year, I think we would have the funds if we had to rent a vehicle, but I'd have to look at like the cost of driving down to Plymouth in a rented vehicle is probably going to be pretty large. And then, like, do we have to have a professional driver with professional insurance? And like, that I wouldn't know. I would think it would get prohibitive. We had to go with a school bus or something like that. That would be very expensive.
Van. Get away with the van.
Get away with the van.
Van and non-commercial driver.
Lewis? I was just going to mention, I mean, we do have school vans available in the SU if that was something that the board wanted to explore.
I mean, so here's my thought on the whole field trip. I mean, I think just from how Mr. Carlson described the trip, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for the sixth grade kids. I trust that any of the logistics and all the legal matters behind transportation would be worked out. So, in my opinion, I'm all for it. I don't know if anyone else wanted to continue to have some more information at the next meeting, but that's just my thought behind this. And I know that in the past there's been a multitude of other field trips, like DC and Boston. So, yeah, that's just my thought behind it. So, anyone else have any questions or any opinions on the field trip?
Motion that's good, as long as the transportation part's all legal.
John, just to understand, the fingerprint takes a long time.
Yeah.
So I would get that motion out because there's a high likelihood it takes about 2 to 3 months to get fingerprint back.
Right. Yeah. So.
And if someone who is not that, looking at a staff member or someone who has volunteered, gone through the process. Okay, but someone brand new that we.
Takes a little. Okay. Yeah, and we are trying to book with Plymouth Pawtucket, so we kind of have to book now to get those dates, which are the best dates for us, and we have to give half the deposit down. It's refundable all the way up until 2 weeks before but we have to give the deposit down, and we want to get things booked now, get everything going now, and so that's why we're here, even though it's at the end of May. But yeah, you're right, we don't have. It seems like it's a ways off, but we don't have that much time.
Or did you want to say something?
How many students, how many people does one of our vans hold? If they were to use that.
5 students into adult schools.
By law, we're not allowed to have more than 5 students in a van.
So it'd be good for this year. Next year we'd be in trouble.
Seems to be a good option. Use our vehicle.
Meredith?
Sorry, I just want to remind you guys that we can't hear you if you're talking too far from the mic and the recording. I don't know what's going to happen with that. So this may affect our minutes. So we really need to hear everybody's voices closer to Eric.
Okay.
Except for maybe George. We can hear George.
All right. I'll try and keep that in mind. And you might have to scoot closer to us. If you.
Do you need a motion to approve this trip?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the Middletown Springs 6th grade class trip, including an overnight, with use of our van if possible.
Okay. Motion by Amanda to approve the trip, the 6th grade trip, with the use of a van. Any further discussion on this?
Other than making sure everything's legal on the transportation part, this is good.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Good look at
Any
it.
opposed?
I like that trip a lot. I like it. I usually do it with a 40.
Sue, were you a yes?
Yes.
This is my 5th time.
All right. Motion carries unanimously. All right.
Used to be
On to,
Really?
did anyone have any questions on Jessica's report before we move on? Okay. All right. Carol.
Okay. A couple of things are very similar to what Jess has already said. We completed our Fast Bridge training last week. Our EST, all of the teachers reviewed data. And this afternoon at our faculty meeting, teachers met, discussed their data, and created their next reading and math progress monitoring goal for their whole class. We are going to also do cognitive training for VitCap on Friday during our half day. Our teachers are participating in the wellness as well. We celebrate with Wellness Wednesdays, where teachers wear the apparel that came along with it, and our wellness coordinator has come up with some different ideas that we use to celebrate. One of the things we've been doing since Christmas is there is a group of teachers who are doing an adult book club just so that there's more time to kind of create relationships there. Our basketball season ended one game short because of the water problem that we had in the multipurpose room, but we did have a really successful season. Our K-3 kids really enjoyed it. I want to thank Jamie Rosas for being willing to coach. Heather Martell coached our older kids, and we will be celebrating them at a Monday meeting in the near future, our sixth graders who participated. On January, I think it was the 23rd, we had our first dance in a couple of years. The 5th and 6th grade sponsored it. It was a Let's Glow dance. And so it was black lights and glow sticks and a lot of fun. Over 65% of the student body came, and that included some of our pre-K kids. So that was kind of exciting. On February the 4th, we did a winter walk to school. We had done one in the fall. We did one again. We actually got a police escort this time, which was really nice. The town constable came. And I think it made the kids feel really good being able to just have that escort on the roads because it was a little bit snowy and cold. We followed it up with donuts with grown-ups, and the multi was full. Mr. Montbrun actually joined us. It's just a great way for our kids to start the day. Yesterday was the 100th day of school, so we spent the afternoon running stations of mixed groups of kids who, there were 4 different activities, all kind of centered around the idea of 100 of something. The students really had a great time. We ended it with Chef Dunlap cooked 100 cookies, baked 100 cupcakes, and we had Rice Krispie treats in the shape of 100. So we gave them quite a bit of sugar and then they went home. Thank you. But I know it was really nice. They did have a wonderful time. And I think the last thing that I probably need to talk about is the water problem that we had. The timeline is that on January 28th, came into school. There were 2 pipes, one at each end of the multi, that had leaks. Control tech was called. They came in. They were able to weld and seal the leaks. Before the water could be contained, it did drip down, unfortunately, into the same 4th grade room, into the closet. So there was some loss of books, materials, that kind of thing. And then also it dripped into the room where we keep our freezers, and there is a lot of insulation, and the the sheetrock on the walls had to be taken out. But the good news was disaster relief came very quickly. They set up all of the fans to dry. We were able to put our 4th graders in the library, and our specialist teachers were just very flexible and put it on a cart and went to classrooms. So that was fantastic. The rooms dried out by the next Monday or Tuesday, and they checked like humidity levels, mold levels. It seems really good. And we have a company coming tomorrow that is going to come in, look at all of the things that need to be repaired, and will provide a quote to see if we can do that. And we have been in contact with Bisbit, with the insurance company. And I think that's about it.
Any questions? Did they ever figure out what the cause was so it doesn't happen again?
They haven't, and I think that's a great question for control tech too, but they were, and I'm looking where the pipes are, sorry, but they were like hairline, both pipes had the same type of crack in them that they were able to weld over. They didn't really have to do any replacing. But
Yeah. Ernie started an issue to report with some pictures. I don't know if the entire board has seen the report or the pictures. He mentioned that circulation pump
yes,
was not moving the fluid through these pipes. And those pipes are on an outer wall. So if they're just sitting there, they probably froze.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he did a great job with the report and the pictures. So we can, if they haven't been already distributed to the board, I think everyone should look at the materials.
yeah, I can upload those if that's.
And it's-
Yeah, he did a very good job doing like the photos piece by piece, so you could see what happened, what we walked into, and then as the cleanup happened.
As far as the damaged reading materials goes, is there anything the board can do to help with that?
I think it's really just going in. It was mostly, as I said, in the 4th grade. Again, our teacher in that room has been displaced 4 times. But it was 2 separate bookcases. One of them was a bookcase of hers that was specific to 3rd and 4th grade. The other one was part of the teacher supply closet. So we're kind of assessing, but there wasn't anything that was on each side of the wall that was salvageable. But I appreciate that, thank you.
And is a lot of that just covered with the viz bit
Yes.
too? Okay. So it's not, at least it's covered. That was,
It should be, yes.
that was initially one of my questions too. Yeah, and I think, stuff happens, things come up, and so it just makes you wonder, like, if this was just one of those random encounters where everything happened, or if it was like, someone came in and did some work and this is a result of that work, or if it, I don't know, like, I think, just the only reason why, I say that is like when the classroom's disrupted, students are displaced in schools, I think the thought is we want to try to make sure, identify any issues and make sure it doesn't happen again. I think that's where I'm coming from. Amanda?
Does that report share potential solutions, like moving of the pipes or using of glycol in the system so it doesn't freeze again or anything like that?
I don't know. We don't have the report, so maybe that's something that we can have at a next meeting or something.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't sure if what George was referring to was.
It's just a report, Amanda, that Ernie had put together, and he also attached the photo montage for people in the facilities committee. At that point, there hasn't been a discussion that I have been part of that has talked about anything, like doing anything differently, other than they did the repairs and they're going to, I mean, it was the hot water pipes that split.
What repairs did they do?
They had to, in the walls, I can show you at that end of the gym.
Were these prior to the thing flowing and leaking out?
No, what they repaired was where the water was coming out.
Okay,
They had to
so they
solder it
repaired
back
that,
close.
but was there something else that they did just recently?
Control tech has been in. We were having issues with our boilers and stuff.
Okay, all right.
So I mean, those are all valid questions to research and ask.
Yeah.
And it sounds like if Ernie's doing something on the whole thing, maybe that's something we can have, or the facility committee, I don't know, can have it for another meeting or something. But it sounds like to me that it's all been addressed or being addressed, and that's good.
Yeah, I just saw his report today. And Mary, I'll try to get that to you if I can find a way. And then we can decide if we want to have a meeting with or contact with them to get more information. But this should be an agenda item, I think, for next month.
Yeah, thanks, George. Ernie sent that over to me as well.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay,
Eric, I can have Carol send Christine, we can drop that report into
File.
the local board folder, sir.
the resource,
Okay.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
So we can all see. it.
Tomorrow, Christine can drop that.
I sure will.
Okay. That sounds good. All right.
And I really want to emphasize disaster relief was really wonderful and
Oh, yeah.
very thorough. They came daily. They checked everything. So
Oh, yeah.
it was
I'm
great that
impressed
they were
with-
here. No, they were wonderful.
Could have been
So-
worse.
It could have been worse, yes.
Okay. Any other questions on Carol's principal report? Okay, so we will move on to finance, monthly reports. Any questions? We have Lewis here tonight just in case. All right, on to old business, community engagement, our standing every other month item. Did anyone have any thoughts on community engagement, next steps, anything we want to specifically put out there? Also, I just want to let everyone know that I did get an email from MailChimp. They're changing their marketing plans. And so their free plan, the one that we currently use, which has up to 500 subscribers, is now being changed to 250. And you can only send out X amount of emails a month. Currently, we're about 220 or 213 or something like that, Amanda. It's just something to consider. I think the board should know it. But I think talking with I brought this up to Amanda just because she does a lot or pretty much all the MailChimp stuff, and I think she might have a good workaround around it. So one of the problems that we found with the MailChimp is that they don't offer like an annual subscription. It's a monthly basis, which proved to be an issue, I guess, with the bookkeeping, or correct me if I'm wrong, Lewis or Chris, remember that initially when it was set up, it's a recurring payment, and anyway, so I think that's one of the issues with the subscription is, and so we had to get rid of that monthly subscription and just go to the free account, which is fine. But anyway, if we go over 250 subscription, then that'll be a problem. So it's just kind of like an FYI. But other than that, community engagement is on the table. So Amanda?
I just wanted to add that at an SU level, and then also I talked with Meredith a little bit. I don't know if something the board should consider is potentially assisting our families to register to vote in one way or another. Many of our families that we're communicating with are not registered to vote. So specifically around budget time, we're sending budget messages, we're sharing information, but a lot of our families are not registered to vote. So potentially our next community engagement goal that we look at could be maybe attending open houses or parent-teacher conference days or something, and maybe we can work with Patty on that and try to set up a day where we can assist our families with registering to vote. I think it's something that maybe we should consider. And then just to kind of reiterate what Eric said about the MailChimp, if it is an issue to do the monthly payment, and if that's not necessary, we do have the option to potentially do Google Groups with the email that Greg set up for us. And so then we can just share a link to our monthly message that we are still creating within MailChimp. So I guess those are the only two things that I have.
Okay. Yeah, that's what. So you have a good workaround. It seems like. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to approach getting people to register to vote. but,
I mean, maybe we ask Patty to bring some papers to our annual meeting, or maybe I don't know. Probably the people that come to the annual meeting are registered, but I don't know if parent teacher conference dates or open house, if we could get Patty to join us, and Meredith has some connection with the town hall as well. Potentially we could have 1 or 2 events, even if we only get, 10 families in each school, that's another 20 voters. Especially when I did my petition, there's a lot of our families are not registered to vote, and that's concerning to me, and I think it should be concerning to the board as a whole. So if there's anything we can do to try to help that, I think we should try.
Meredith?
Yeah, I think we have to consider having Nora involved because you're registering in Wells is different than registering in Middletown, even though we're a merged district. I can't register Wells residents. Wells residents can't, like if we were to do it at, I guess there aren't any more basketball games, but some event, it's got to be town specific.
So maybe that might be something to follow up on with both town clerks, just to inquire how that would work too. I know that's a good point. Like, well, our annual meeting, Patty's going to be there anyway, but how would that work for Wells residents?
I think we could just have the paperwork there, and it could be brought to Nora, and she could review it and register those people, because there's a lot of ways to register. So I believe you can even do it online at home.
Yeah, and we've got our annual meeting coming up too. That maybe get some of the non-parents as well. So I don't know. All right. I guess I would say, does anyone disagree with that? All right. Anything else on community engagement? I think with our next with our annual meeting coming up, I did make a front porch forum post on the annual meeting. I also updated our sandwich board signs with the annual meeting on it. I have to keep on burying one of them out of snow, but yeah, that's all I can think of for now. Mary Beth or Mary?
Yeah, Eric, can you remind me, is the annual meeting only attended in person, or is there a virtual option?
Virtual. It's hybrid.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
I just had a question of that. Someone asked today. Thank you.
It'll be at Middletown Springs this year. Okay. All right. Well, so we'll move on to new business. So for new business, district moderator. I think at our last meeting, I alluded that our previous moderator had resigned, and so I couldn't find anyone who would be interested in being moderator. I also included in a front porch forum post that we have a vacancy, but in the meantime, we still need to appoint someone, and so at least we have a plan in place for the annual meeting. Now, historically, if we haven't found anyone, I could serve as moderator. Any board member can serve as moderator too. And it's not ideal, but given the circumstances, and I'd be fine doing it. I think that after our annual meeting, we could always address it and keep trying to find someone for next year. So, unless anyone has anything to add, or if anyone wants to step up, then just appoint me to do it. I don't care. We'll just.
Motion to appoint Eric to be moderator.
You say.
Just motioned it.
Okay. You said Eric? I thought you said Meredith.
I just said Eric.
Okay. All right.
Unless Meredith wants to overdo that and take it over.
Okay. All right, motion by Sue to appoint me as moderator. Any further discussion on moderator? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. All right, on to board goals. So we kind of kicked this to this meeting. If it's not, I don't think it's in this month's drive. I think still should be in the last month. So we could just work through this really quick. I think we've seen this enough times, and we've kind of gone through and just kind of reevaluated where we've been at on completion. Looking at to community engagement, which is an ongoing thing. I think we're pretty much still at the same, unless anyone has any other thought on that. I don't think hasn't been updated since we worked on it last year. We did this last year. So any thoughts on community engagement? What's that?
Now we're on board goals.
Yeah, board goals. Number one. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I don't see anyone jumping. Okay, so on to fiscal responsibility. Okay, deeper dive into shared resources. Let's see, all budget. I would say I haven't done much work on this either. And I don't know if you want to look what I have here, Sue. Well, that's not it. Yeah, I only got one copy here.
Okay.
I'll
trust you.
Yeah. You trust me?
Trust you.
Did you hear that, everyone? Sue's going to agree with everything I say tonight.
Yeah.
All right. So I would say probably definitely could focus on that. And, I think overall, as we look at a lot of this stuff, and I understand that, a lot of this was established quite a while ago. Probably should reevaluate this whole document and or start all over would be my thought. But until then, exploration consolidation models. So yeah, I'm going to bring this up. So about this, just over a year ago, we decided to put a hiatus on exploring consolidation because of legislation. And so, I would ask the board if that is something we want to continue to put on hold or pick up where we left off. When I initially put this on the agenda last month, and then even for this month, the new map hadn't even come out yet. So I would imagine that might change some opinions as well on where the legislature is heading. But happy to hear what the board thinks on where we should be on exploring consolidation. Amanda?
I know it's a touchy subject, but I think it's something that we should explore again, especially with the class size changes that are coming. I kind of looked at our numbers, and it looks like our 4th grade and one of our 6th grades are the only classes in both schools that currently would meet those new numbers. And that's this year's 6th grade, not next year's. So I think it is something we should look at. And I think that it's time that we do be proactive a little bit, because for the last couple of years we've been waiting on the state, and if we keep waiting on the state, then they're going to decide for us, in my opinion. So I think it's something that we should reconsider, specifically around class sizes.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think we should continue to look at it. This new map has us with Fairhaven. And who knows where we'll end up. I think we should put our best foot forward so we stay viable. We don't know who we're doing it for, but it'll be for someone.
Okay. So you think we should
Continue to look at it.
I would like people to consider the fact that there were several votes that just happened, I believe, yesterday to close small schools our size, and they all failed. The community supported keeping their schools open, and I am sure that those were very disruptive situations in those communities, and I honestly don't know that with what the legislature and the governor are proposing, that we need to add to that disruption.
That's the point. And I saw that too. A lot of them turned it down.
Yeah.
Small schools are not going to shut down a whim.
Yep.
I'm not necessarily worried about the legislature as much as worried about whatever new school board we become a part of.
Well, either way, it's not going to be our choice. When the state puts us where we're going to go, they're going to take. Whether they're going to try and shut us down or not, they'll shut us down. It's going to be a yes.
Mary?
It's gonna be very nasty.
Mary?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I would be open if the board chose to discuss consolidation, but just to remind everyone that we had a pretty resounding no from the community around consolidation when we did hold those open public meetings. And I don't think I'm wrong, but I think under the Articles of Agreement as they stand, we would need a positive vote from all the townspeople in that town that the school would affect. But and then obviously a unanimous vote from the board. So I feel like if there's any discrepancy right now about moving forward, you know, but just to remind people that I think the community spoke last year.
Okay. Amanda?
I think that maybe what Mary, correct me if I'm wrong, Mary, but I think when we're talking about this right now, we're not talking about closing a school. We're talking about consolidating what we have, and maybe readdressing like that K236 option, which was one of our options that we discussed last year. That's why that was my interpretation when I said class sizes. I don't think we should consider closing one school or the other. That would not be the goal. It would just be to be proactive so that when the state does come down, we can say that we're meeting minimum class sizes and we're being proactive and we're doing our best for our communities. I would never be pushing to close one school or the other. So I just want to clarify that.
Meredith?
From what I understand, Articles of Agreement will not be an issue when decisions are made by these new boards or Secretary Saunders. The Articles of Agreement will be taken completely out of play.
Correct. That's my understanding as well. And, you know, Mary?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks, Amanda. I didn't, I guess I wasn't listening close enough to when you talked about consolidation. So, and maybe I'll look back to see, I think that we also gave that option to the public to consider consolidating, and I'm not sure, or maybe we didn't. I can't remember if that was also on the docket for somebody or for our parents and community members to think about as far as consolidating grades. Maybe it was just a school closure. So I'll have to look back on that.
Yeah, I think it would be valuable to basically go back and review, if we decide to continue this, bring everything back up where we left off and just reevaluate the results of the community forums and where we left off, and then
If I may, we offered several options out there. And just for the record, I'm looking at the model that Amanda spoke of. I'm not trying to close down any buildings. I don't want to see that. But I want to streamline us so that we have the best chance to keep both buildings open.
And also, if I can just add in, when we're looking at the results, we did have a lot of people come, but it was a lot of people, like multiple family members with their own family. So I think we should also look at the amount of family members we heard from, and just keep in mind that there's a lot of others that we should still be trying to get input from if that's the route we take.
Yeah. And, as I mentioned earlier, I agree in the concept that I think Meredith was describing earlier, that going through all this effort and without also knowing what is going to happen in the legislature, how much of an impact will this have on the communities and the schools, but at the same time, we don't know really how it's going to come out. I mean, right now they are, at least in House Ed, they are, the current model is that it was put forward is without supervisory unions. And I think it's intended, and they'll say this too, that we're not closing schools. It's going to be the newly formed districts that are closing schools. But come on, I mean, the legislation's designed for that. Where but there's we don't know how it's going to be, and if there's that chance that supervisory unions do exist, and then probably on the slim chance that we could be in a supervisory union. So I know that I think it's probably worth discussing what the potential next steps could be, but also keeping in mind that maybe that shouldn't be making hasty decisions as well. Meredith?
I agree too, and that one of the board members spoke on the radio the other day of one of the schools that he had been supporting closing in his community because he was trying to maintain control over their situation. And he felt that with this new proposed map and the direction that the committees are heading in, that he may have essentially told misguided his community by saying they could keep control and by making their own decisions. Fortunately, the community decided not to close the school. But if we go ahead and make these decisions to do something because we're trying to, save our schools, I just really feel concerned that this is going to cause a lot of angst and anxiety in our communities that isn't necessary. It's going to be bad enough.
Yeah, and you know, maybe there's an opportunity too for another community forum, but you know, I would say in regards to Act 73, and you know, I think one thing to think about too is, you know, where the schools or the towns or the district, however you want to phrase it, could end up. Where would be better off? I mean, if there's no option for supervisory unions and our district isn't retained as it is, and we're put in a district, well, how is that going to affect choice? You know, just speaking specifically to the map and house ed, you know, would you know, considering advocating for another type of placement might work toward the interest of the towns to retain choice. I know keeping the schools, and that's a whole nother thing. I mean, that could take years to even happen. Maybe it will. I think that's kind of the intention, but maybe it won't. But so, you know, I think there's definitely a lot of things to discuss, and you know, not just for consolidating, but where we might end up, you know, at the end of this, and then understanding that and conveying that to the community as well. So, Amanda?
I just want to add one more thing before we move on from this. I think when we bring it back up, we also need to remember that keeping our schools open is not the only reason we considered this. We looked at student outcomes and fiscal responsibility and other things for our communities as well. So not to mislead anybody and say if we do this, they'll stay open, but also we had other pros listed for consolidating as well. So I would be in favor of reevaluating.
So my next question is, when do we want to put like a time on this? Like, do we want to, you know, basically kind of set it for like April or May or March, whatever? Like,
Do you still have that timeline that Kara had? Like for our months, I think we started in April and went to like August or something. Do you remember? Because that was pretty good timing. It was right after reorganization, so we had all of our current members.
yeah, but that was like, we still have it, but that was like scheduled out for like phase one, and we never made it past phase one. We had the community forums, but we didn't make it through like the next piece because, you know, because of H454 or whatever, like we put all that on hold. So I don't think it's valid at this point. It's kind of an outdated document that became stagnant with our progress on this. But I do think that, you know, we can just decide when. Like if we're gonna, you know, plan to have this discussion, I just kind of want to get an idea of, you know, when it would be appropriate, how people feel.
Are you talking about internal discussions or getting something out to the public?
Board discussions, like right now, we're just discussing on whether or not we want to continue consolidation. It sounds like, you know, generally, it sounds like the board would like to keep discussing it. So if we're going to, you know, bring up those conversation or bring up that discussion again, I'm asking, when do people feel that would be a good time to do it?
After reorganization,
So maybe April?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before the end of the school year.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And again, I think this kind of, we can start talking and decide what we want to do for, next steps involving this. But then also monitoring the legislature as well on what's coming out of House and Senate Ed. So, all right. Is everyone okay with that? Anyone opposed to that? Can everyone hear me? Okay. All right. Okay. The timeline for future, we're on to number 3 on the goals again. Continue to have forums, community input. We did have community forums. Set timeline for future visioning. I think that might be the timeline. No, that's not. That's something else.
We have 0% on the opportunities for high quality student experience. I
Yep.
think we can at least give that 25%. We have been doing better since we did this. Getting reports from the admin and looking at test scores, and I don't think that's a 0 anymore, in my opinion.
Does that have to? Is that? I'm wondering if that also includes the. I'm trying to look here.
I think that was our progress check-in, and at the time we were waiting for the state numbers from Lisa, which we've now looked at since we did this.
Okay. I'm not sure if that is included in the. We did the school choice workshops that have for sixth graders going into secondary school. I wonder if that is included in that as well. Like, does that apply? Oh no, that's the next one. Never mind.
Yeah, I think that was under preparedness.
Answered my own question. Okay. All right.
Are we doing that again?
I think so. Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. On to student preparedness. That's 100%. Right? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so we're still doing that. Okay. And then we have assessments. Or double expectations and understanding assembly. Let me ask you this. Does everyone understand the assessment data that we get? Like the Fast Bridge and the
Mostly, and the admin have been able to answer our questions during presentation.
Okay. So I think that's one of the questions is, or the expectations when it comes to monitoring the student assessments and the expectations. Screen.
They also keep changing how they give us the data. So I think that we are understanding to the best of our ability. But when we look at it again, it'll probably be a different graph and we'll have to understand it again.
The fast bridge is pretty consistent. Yeah, the fast bridge is pretty consistent. I think it might look, maybe the colors are different, but it's pretty consistent. But I think, you know, if we're going to follow through with this work, you know, the board as a whole understands, you know, what they're looking at too. And, you know, when we first started looking at FastBridge, I'll be honest, like it was confusing as hell. But I think it's after seeing it enough times, it makes sense. At least to me. I don't know how anyone else feels.
Took me a few times.
Yeah.
Got it. Pretty good now.
Yeah, and I think that consistency is great. And so I don't know. I would say if anyone's struggling with understanding the assessments, and I think we want to aim to improve that understanding. But seeing as how the last few times we reviewed those assessments, there weren't a lot of questions. You know, we get pretty good summary on the reports as well. So I would almost say, you know, this is like 100% in terms of that. Would anyone disagree?
I don't think we were using jump rope when we did this. I think now both of our schools are using jump rope, and I'm not sure if that's anything we want to add in review or if we just want to keep it at like the fast bridge and VitCap levels. But I think jump rope was something that was discussed when we kind of did this, but it wasn't in place, and now it's in place. I don't know if that's anything that
Jump rope isn't an assessment. Yeah. Yeah, it's for grading, but it's not an assessment component to that we look at least. So
I just didn't know if, since it's throughout the year and not one test on a computer that maybe a child clicked, if now that we have that option, if that's something that should be added or not. That was all. If no one wants to add it, that's fine. I know sometimes the state tests aren't always the most accurate way to review. And at the time we didn't have another way, but now we do.
yeah, my understanding is jump rope is like grade reporting. I think even when my kids were here, there was jump rope, and so yeah. But yeah, I think right now we just currently what we review for the assessments are VitCap and FastBridge, and yeah, and those are the state assessments. Yep. Okay. And it's a similar goal. You know, board level monitoring trends, test scores, programs, progress and programs. You know, I think the one we just talked about was, you know, the board's understanding, and I think this one just speaks to the fact that we continue to monitor these reports and review them, and yeah. So you know, I don't think, because we have a consistent work plan where we're getting these result reports. It's been consistent, and you know, so I think this one's complete as well, moving forward, and I think the only thing is I'm not sure if you're still waiting for like VitCap data. I think is that coming in
So the snapshot should be released into this week, early next week.
Okay.
We received information last week, it's for us to review, and so they typically give us a week to review, and then it will go live. And once it's live, it's no longer suppressed.
Okay. Yeah, and I know, we see the VIT cap once a year. And then when that comes out, it's usually in the spring, right? Where,
Yes, ideally, we would get those results late summer. I mean, if they're really going to be impactful, our building administrators are have that data available before the start of the following school year. Problem is, when they release these scores, we're well into the school year. And that's something which Secretary Saunders has stated as an issue, and it's something that she and AOE intends to work on.
okay. Yeah, I know there was a point in time where,
Can you repeat what he said? I really not getting it.
he's,
I can undo my mic.
oh yeah,
I said that when we, is that better, Meredith? Okay. I said that what happens right now is that we have, last week, the superintendents received the AOE snapshots. We were able to kind of review. That will go live, I do believe, probably end of this week for all community members, for everyone to take a look at, so the data will no longer be suppressed. I said one of the issues that we have had is that with the VITGAP data, that ideally we would get the information back much sooner, ideally be late summer or sometime during the summer, so that our building administrators, our staff, our teachers could really take a look at the data and then really design lessons that are more tailored to student needs and student strengths and weaknesses. The problem is sometimes we get this data so late that we're well into the school year. And Secretary Saunders has stated that she's aware of this issue and is working to try to address this. So, but this has been an ongoing issue for us with the VITGAP data. So.
that works. Thank you. I would have butchered what you said. Okay. Yes, so I think that completes that one as well. If anyone has anything else to add, or I think as we continue, this is just part of our usual work cycle in the board when reviewing this information and continuing to monitor outcomes. Okay. All right, that wasn't so bad, was it? What's that?
Nothing.
All right, so if no one has anything else to add, we'll move on to general public comment. Did anyone wish to speak tonight? Public comment, in person, online? Okay. All right, so our next meeting is our annual meeting. Hope to have a good turnout, answer questions, talk about the budget. And unfortunately, I wanted to say I don't see Matt on tonight. So this was Mary.
Yeah, just really quickly, Eric, maybe this is a topic for another meeting. I was just wondering if there's any way that we could just ask for like the actual results of that community forum to be put on maybe like the minutes material for the board, just so like the board, we're all looking at the same stuff, I guess, if the board continues to talk about consolidation. So I know that's not till April, but just wanted to bring it up now if that could be a request for the minutes material.
Yes. So I can double check, but all of that information should be in the drive from when we reviewed it over a year ago. So I can double check and make sure it's still there, but it's available for everyone.
Okay, great, thanks.
Amanda?
I was just going to add, it was also sent out in a MailChimp. So at the top of any of the, or in the middle of any of the monthly messages that are sent, there's a link for previous MailChimp messages. And if you scroll down, there was a MailChimp message specific to that forum and the results and the video recording and all of that information.
Oh, yeah, great point. Okay. So yeah, Tammy, did you have something to say under public comment, I guess?
No, I'm just wondering, I'm on my way there because I gotta sign the board orders. But if you guys are almost done, I was wondering what way does Chris come home?
Which way are you going home? Because the roads suck.
Yeah, they do suck, so I'm almost to Castleton.
I usually go Route 30 through Fulton.
I didn't know if you'd meet me at the high school then.
Well, I'll have them. I can give them to you tomorrow.
Well, I'm not gonna be home tomorrow. Unless you wanna just hang out there and I'll meet you at the school.
Okay, I guess I'll hang out.
All right. Thank you.
That's okay, yeah. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so that concludes our business for tonight, and I just wanted to say, Matt's not rerunning, and I just wanted to say thank you for his work on the board, for all the years he served. This would be his last regular meeting, but and just acknowledge him as an outgoing board member. So I think that's important, and hopefully I'll try and make sure he's at the annual meeting at least. You're not getting out of it that easy. Anyway, okay. So with that, that concludes our business for the evening. I will declare us adjourned at 7:32.